Hi guys, FPSMadness here, and welcome back to the Uninkable Dads podcast. And on today's episode, we're going to be talking a little bit about Worlds, going over the recent Axion event that I took part in, and we'll be bringing you some set chaps news. But before we do that, welcome my co-host, as always, it's Grandad Glenn. The man that when we asked him what his favourite card was, he said, the one that lets me take a nap during my opponent's turn. So,
it's about right.
Yeah. Well, most of these decks, unless you're playing aggro, you do get to take a nap. Red, blue, you could probably have a 5-minute nap in between turns. So, how's your week been? How's the week in the ink?
Well, I was going to play Lorcana this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Then the sun came out, and my deck got replaced by a bucket and spade. So, nice. For anyone who's not in the UK, we've had a bit of a UK heatwave here. So, probably not a heat wave by a lot of standards, but by the UK standards, it's been a heat wave. So yeah, we took the family down Frinton Beach, which is about 50 minutes drive from me. Well, it was on the way there. We had a lovely day at the beach, and then a 3-hour journey back, which wasn't quite so good fun.
3 hours.
Yeah, I think there was some kind of traffic accident, so it took an hour just to get out of.
What'd you do? Like row
Frinton
back?
Yeah, pretty much. Could have walked it faster. And then we kind of got past that bit of it. It took about an hour, and then the kids are hungry. So, okay, we'll stop at the McDonald's in Wheelie. Everyone else had the same idea. So it took 45 minutes to get a flipping McDonald's. Then we still had the rest of the journey back. But there you go. So that was the weekend. And then the rest of the week, I've been testing some good old Emerald, Amethyst, Tempo, just pull the lever. So, trying a bit of that out.
I don't like facing that deck.
It seems to be doing all right. So, online testing. I wish I could die roll in a set champs the way my online testing has gone, because I think the online client has let me go first, 8 out of 10 turns or something. But yeah, I think I've ended up winning 9 out of 10 in initial testing.
Nice.
With the deck, so that's very nice. The one that I lost was Amber Steel, so that's still the one that I think could be the challenge. But I've made a couple of tweaks to the deck. Got a couple of tweaks in there, so I just need to test against that. So yeah, I might get some real cardboard out and have a practice against Lily's deck over the next couple of days. See how I can do against that. But yeah, you had a rather more Lorcana focused weekend though. So
I did. What did I do? So obviously Friday went to locals. I was trying now this is where I don't know if you know about this yet, but I have a slight confession to make. I tried out the Mulan evasive and it didn't work. It didn't work at locals, and if it doesn't work at locals, the chances are it's not going to work at Axion. So I actually changed it up last minute. So it's very similar. I basically dropped Mulan. I think I went slightly more heavy on the mid-range stuff. I bought Medusa and Tremaine back. And yeah, it felt all right. I teched it to go into aggro, so obviously you had like the Queen of Hearts, you had, ways of dealing with aggro, and then I didn't match up against a single aggro deck all day. Whereas I went with one of our mates, and his deck is red-blue, so he doesn't want aggro. That's the worst case scenario for him, and he drew nothing but aggro all day.
Oh, no.
And we literally said, both our names are Michael, it's like, we should have swapped pairings.
Yeah.
I would have had a good day, you would have had a good day, But yeah, we went to Axion Sunday. It was all right. I always enjoy those events anyway. I go there for the practice at the end of the day. If I go and lose all 7 games, I lose all 7 games. The chances are I've learned something from it. So I lost the first 3. Two of them were very close in fairness. Both of them I finished on 18, 19 lore, so they weren't whitewashes at all. One of them, I just got annihilated. I can't even remember what happened. I think it was green steel, but they didn't play discard, so I was getting ready for the discard, and I wasn't overexerting, I wasn't over-inking, I was trying to make sure I kept my hand full, and they just went quick, and I was just like, what's going here? So it just threw me off completely, and they got that. They annihilated me with that one. Second game, it was a 2-0. Second game, I knew obviously it wasn't discard, so I started playing things to the board. All my like Diablo and Cuscos and stuff like that. So as they were taking stuff out, I was at least drawing cards from it, or I could crab it and then get cards as well. And I built a board, got them to answer it. They built theirs, ready for B prep. Played Ursula and got rid of my B prep at the most perfect moment, and I was like, "Damn, well that's game." So yeah, that was that. And then I took a break, went downstairs, got a drink, stood outside for 10 minutes, come back in and said, right, I'm 3-0 down, but this isn't over. And 1-3 back-to-back 2-0s. So the break obviously did me good. I come back in and won 3 games in a row, 2-0. And then basically the last game, so the way the prize tickets work for the Sunday was if you had a positive record. So there was 7 rounds of Swiss. If you finished on a positive record, so 4-3, you get, I think it was 120 prize tickets. So a pack is 10. So basically half a box.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, it was a Ruby Amethyst mirror, and the guy just played so well. I had no chance. He won the dice roll, and that in the mirror that almost decides it anyway. We were both on evasive shark builds, so it wasn't like one of us had the edge by not having that or having that. So it basically come down to who could get the characters and quest for Genie first, pretty much. So unfortunately, he got that. But then I did have a look through the listings for the Saturday and Sunday, and he finished quite high on Saturday. I think he's part of the. There's a big group of them that all go to the Axions all the time. I can't remember their names now, and Noel and Bradley are part of them. And he's one of their like group sort of thing. So he's a very good player. I played him before. He's very good. So I knew that wasn't going to be an easy game. And yeah, so I finished 3-4 in the end. But luckily, one of our friends, Tom, he actually gave me his prize tickets because he finished on the same record as me. So I could get the wonderful Jafar up here. And I bought Impact instead. So we basically traded the packs from the tickets. And I managed to get my full-size Jafar card. So
very nice. So it sounds like there's some pretty good prizes, even if you weren't sort of topping the event. You could come away with some decent prizing.
Yeah, definitely. It was. They did different things. So I think Tom's little and she got like 4 Stitch toys because they were like 20 tickets each or 10 tickets each. So she literally had a place at Stitch toys, and there was like, I know I've seen a tweet or something out there that basically someone walked away with like a case. This was over, I think it was over the complete weekend, but they walked away with like a case, 3 deck boxes, and a OLED Steam Deck. So they walked away with some really good pricing, and that's not finishing like first or second. That was just all the price tickets built up over the 2 days. They managed to get a decent prizes. I look a bit hot and sweaty in there. There's like 30 degrees in there, so that's it.
I bet it was a long day as well, right?
So
because you had to.
It was.
You drove up there and then 7 rounds, and then a drive back.
Yeah. Well, obviously, we left here at 6 a.m. Got there just before 8, and we were like, okay, well, we're half hour early before we can go in. So we drove around the corner, went and got my dog's breakfast. I was like, I can't have that. So we did that, and then went back round, went in, went up, started getting ready. Mike wanted to do some re-sleeve his cards and bits like that. And before you know it, we're starting to play. Because my deck is obviously on the slower end and I didn't play any aggro, I didn't really get a chance to finish early. So I didn't get a chance to go get lunch or anything. And yeah, by the end of the day, I was feeling rough. I was feeling a bit sort of lightheaded. And I was like, I should have stopped and either eaten or drunk something. I had water. They had like water stations all the way around the hall, But yeah, I definitely didn't drink enough. I was definitely a bit dehydrated, but it was good. A lot of people said obviously the Saturday was blistering in there, like ridiculously hot. A lot of people were really struggling Saturday, but Sunday was a bit cooler. So I'm glad we obviously picked the right day. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool. And what else was there other than the tournament? Were there vendors there? Was there other stuff going
Yeah,
on?
yeah. So they have they're almost like their own vendors and stuff. So there's a guy there that's basically selling sleeves, deck boxes, boosters, starter decks, troves, anything like that. And then they also have like a stand with like a load of singles and stuff as well. So like if you get there and realise you need something for your deck, he's got basically what I'd call, if you basically sort of dreamborn into the most popular and said,
Right.
well, we'll take the top 6 of each ink color, he's probably got all of them. You know,
Right.
it's like the basic sort of thing. Obviously, he's got his enchanteds and stuff like that to sell as well. And then obviously you walk out the main hall, and then they had the prize wall ticket thing. Again, you could get deck boxes, play mats, boosters, boxes, troves. Obviously, the giant card. What else could you get? Obviously, you could get like the Steam Deck and stuff like that, but that was really high up. You had the Lego Disney Castle, like the full-sized thing.
Of course.
Someone actually walked away with that. At one point, I saw that disappearing at some point, so someone actually saved up their prize tickets to get that. So yeah, it was good.
Yeah, sounds like a really good fun weekend.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
I watched some of it on stream. I watched Spessie's stream, which was really good. So and it looked like a good variety of decks on display as well.
Yeah, yeah. I was expecting it to be very amber steel heavy, and it wasn't as much as I thought it was going to be. To be honest, you know, when we'll have a look at I think at least the top 16 are online. There's not many that made it that far. Whether they were there and didn't make it that far, I don't know. You know, I played one. I think Mike played two. One of them won Sunday, so you know one of them made it through. But yeah, there wasn't as much as I thought. Really was a mixture. You had obviously red, blue, purple, bit of green, purple in there, purple steel, obviously ruby amethyst. So yeah, it was a good mixture. It was definitely a good mixture. There was the odd crazy deck, but there wasn't too many. So I didn't see any poppies. I did look.
Disappointing.
Yeah, I know. One day. Well, someone will win puppies and worlds this weekend. You ain't got to worry about it. So
Yeah, well, it's not a bad choice, right? Because at the end of the day, you've got to take 3 decks. One of your decks is being banned. No one's banning
yeah,
puppies.
yeah.
You
A
know?
little bit of secret spice, you know. So talking about a little bit of secret spice, let's have a quick look at these decks from Saturday. So we have Saturday and Sundays here. We'll just go a flick through like the different colours, and then we'll have a look at the top couple. So the top 32. There's not 32 decks here though, so there must be some missing. But you know, we've got a amber steel here. But apart from that, it's quite.
There's a fair bit of control there, isn't there? So you've got some ruby amethyst, you've got some red blue in there.
I would definitely say red blue seems to be the higher one. Obviously the purple steel made it through. So the guy who actually won on Saturday. So this is the person that would have won the cup and then the trip to Disneyland, California. So it's a very, very what I'd call standard.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
Purple steel, and it shows that the right deck with the right player can do extremely well because, there was 160 odd players, I think there was on the Saturday, and, he made it through, I think it was 8 or 9 rounds of Swiss, and then the top 8 or 16, I don't know exactly how many it was, but, he made it through the whole thing, so he obviously did very well.
I would say the full bounce package in there, which we haven't seen for a while, right? People have
No,
retraced from playing snakes a bit, and I mean, I guess with Pete in there as well, the ability to just
yeah,
keep
bouncing Pete.
repeating, bouncing crab. Yeah, nice list.
Yeah, so that was the winner on Saturday. It's not good. Let me go back now. That's what I said. The person who comes second was Zach, and he was playing green purple. Getting a little bit more what you call like spiciness with Ursula. Wasn't expecting to see Ursula. Only running 3 wrong lever and pull lever, which I found a little bit odd. I would have thought there would be 4s of, but obviously he knows the deck better than I do. Cricky, which is obviously always nice. But yeah, again,
Yeah, this is
loads of
similar
rounds
to
to
what I've
start
been.
and then build up afterwards.
It's very similar to what I've been testing with this week. I did start off with the Ursulas in there. I struggled to find much use for them. Ended up taking them out, replacing them with the Pegasus shift line instead. But hey, obviously, second place in a major competition like that. This person is a better player than I am. Obviously, found some use out of them.
Yeah, the only one thing we don't get with this, which would be nice, is if we had their matchups as well. But unfortunately, we don't, because then you can see what it's doing against different matchups. But obviously, he still made it second, so he obviously did extremely well with it. And then one other deck I wanted to look at, which has got an 87% spiciness, which is obviously
Spessie's deck,
Specie
right?
himself. Yeah, yeah, of course it is. So he went with what I kind of call the standard open. This doesn't seem to have the evasive verse Diablo, which I found a little bit weird because that one I find the hardest to deal with. But he went with the option for the other 2 drops. So I'm guessing he's really relying on hitting this turn 1 shift, and then going from there, it's kind of standard until you get to obviously Lucifer's not standard in this list, and Heffalumps and Woozles isn't normally standard in this list. But apart from that, he's obviously going very, very heavy early draw and a bit discard. So you've got the discard package here with the bounce as well. So he did well. I think he finished 3rd on Saturday. So I don't know whether he was playing the same list on Sunday. We'll be able to have a look in a sec.
I did watch his stream on Sunday, so he did change. He took the Ursulas out. Funny enough,
did he?
the double singing Ursulas, and I think he was saying on stream that he kind of regretted it somewhat.
So the guy I played in the last round of thingy, this was actually his deck from Saturday. I don't know whether he made any changes for Sunday, but it's very similar to what I was running. I didn't have this Ursula, but I pretty much had everything else. So we were pretty much now on a mirror. So yeah, I don't think I had the library. I cut the library for something else, but apart from like 2, maybe 3 changes, they were almost identical decks. So it was quite close. Yeah, and then on the Sunday, the winner was running, which no surprise, but I'm just surprised it didn't win both. Is Amber Steel. So very straightforward. 4 ofs, get it on board and go. Yeah, no messing around. You can't really go wrong with that. Lady into Piglet's always going to be absolutely brutal, and Lady into Dog's even more brutal. So there's not really anything you can say about this deck. It's very, very straightforward and very simple. But if you play it extremely well, it obviously shows you can do really well with it. I think there was 116 people on Sunday, and obviously it was Swiss, and I think I'd have to check. I think he was the only one on his score, so he either got 6 wins and a draw or 7 wins. So,
Nice. Very
yeah,
nice.
he did extremely well with it.
Yeah, it's a very, as you say, it's a really clean deck that just
Mm.
knows what it wants to do, and
Yeah, so the one I
that's it. But
always get surprised about is there's no Pluto. I feel like you build the board up and then it's going to get challenged out. It's like,
yeah,
why is Pluto not in it? But I suppose you just go so quick that they can't answer it quick enough.
yeah, and I guess then
I suppose
strategic
playing
use of
two
the
piglets instead
songs.
of a Pluto is probably better.
Yeah, I guess your strategic use of the songs that you've got in the deck
Yeah,
to
yeah, that's true.
keep your
That's true.
opponent's board sort of down, so they can't just completely challenge
Yeah, I
everything
suppose
off.
if they've only got two things on board and they're only taking two out of your six that were on board each time, and you time your peats well, then yeah, yeah, nice. And then on the Sunday, second was a Blurple deck, which it's got an Elsa, which I wasn't expecting. This is a card that obviously saw a lot of play early, and then it kind of died off just because I think as things become more important on inks. But yeah, it's nice to see Elsa back. 4 Hades and 3 Kida, which were what
Yeah.
I'd say are non-standard in this list.
But it's
Apart
got
from
two
that,
of the Anna in as well, which I know it is becoming standard, but is a bit of a new
yeah, that's new, isn't it? Yeah,
addition.
it's set 8, so that's one of the new ones for set 8. Um, yeah, and then as we can see going down the list, we had 2 Burples, second, third. We'll have a look at this one in a sec. And then where's the other list I was going to look at?
So it was a pretty control-heavy weekend, right? It
When you look at this,
wasn't
it's, there's
wasn't the
like
aggro that we were expecting.
no, and this was the thing. When I was sitting there, talking to, I think it was Panos Friday, and I said, I'm building something to counter aggro, and I said to him, if I had enough time and thought about it early enough, I should be building the counter to the counter of aggro, because that's what it's going to be. There's going to be so many people running the counter to it. I just got to find what counters that. Obviously, being able to do that is hard, but it. One aggro got through. The rest of them are all quite control decks, really. I mean, this guy made it to top 8, but the rest of them are all relatively control.
Yeah.
When you look at how much red there is in this. And then the one that kind of made me laugh and I wanted to have a look at, this is Reese's list. So obviously Reese is the guy who finished second in Lille, a Brotherhood player, and yeah, this is
That is
the
a
crazy
lot
deck.
of items.
When this deck pops off, it pops off extremely well. I think he had some good luck with it, but also I think you're very high rolly on Oswald. If Oswald pops off for you, you win the game. If he doesn't, then you can lose it very quickly. When you consider there's only 7 characters in the entire thing. The rest of it's all either items or actions. It's 2 actions. The rest of it's all items. So yeah, this is a very spicy list. Hence why what made me laugh is they got 100% on spiciness rating.
Nice.
So
We
yeah,
talked about control. I mean, we had Mr. Aggro himself, Harlan Sweet, playing a control list,
yeah.
which was
That
a bit of
again,
a
this
surprise.
took everyone by surprise, I think, and it's the Burple list again with the Arnas that seem to be coming normal win this list. But yeah, I mean, what more could you really want from a deck? The card draw is like next level in this. 4 Finders Keepers, 4 Friends, 4 Pops, and then the same side to bring the Popsicles back. The card draw in this is just mental.
Yeah.
When you include obviously Genie and then the Mim that you could potentially bounce Genie and keep going. Yeah, there's some serious card draw in this deck.
And
He
you've
said
actually
that's one
got
thing. So I was just going to say that was one thing. Obviously, I was talking to him about his list while I was there, and he said that's one thing. He's never short of cards in hand. He has had someone play 2 Mac Ducks, and he's taken both of them out in one turn with Monstro. because they B prep, like red blue will B prep, slap down 2 manas, and then you're like, oh, right, I've got to answer that. And he just plays 1 Monstro, discards 4 cards, and takes out 2 manas. So it costs you 5 cards out your hand, but they're not coming back from that. that's their game plan. They've purposely built you up to B prep to slap down 2 manas, hoping they're going to get at least 2 or 3 quests off of that. And he dealt with it, and the turn it got played. So yeah, with the card draw and Monstro together, I think it's quite brutal. So, obviously,
and it's actually got 6 2-quests, isn't it?
Mm.
So for a sort of
well.
ramp controlled deck, but it's actually got the ways to get over the line.
Yeah, I found I played a couple of games like testing with this online, and he said one of his favourite starts, and I've got to agree, it is nice when you pull it off, is the Popsicle Bell. Obviously, ramp turn 2, and then sing Friends with Bell, and you just get so much card draw and so much in your hand already. You're going into turn 4 with like a full hand again. You're not going in with like 2 or 3 cards. You're going back in with nearly a full hand. So yeah, it seems to work really well. Obviously, he did really well with it. He got 3rd, and I believe he got. It's either 3rd or 4th. I think it was 3rd in the overall. So the Saturday and Sunday combined, and the top numbers from Swiss from Saturday and Sunday all got enchanted. So they picked in order. So it was the first set of enchanted, and the player who finished top picked first, then second, third, fourth. It should have then been top again, but there was they let a junior Lumineer, which was Bailey. He finished top of all the juniors, so he got to go up and pick. He should have been picking technically the 9th pick, or after the top 4 had been twice, but they all agreed no, he needs to go 5th. So he went 5th in between them, and then they did the second lot, and then I think 2 of them got given out to, I think it was 2 random people that had been there for both days, sort of thing. So yeah, it was really good. They did really well, and yeah, it was a good day.
And is there another one planned?
Yes and no. So there is another one planned, but they don't know the date or anything. It's in the pipeline. They want to do it, but they're currently waiting for technically this weekend. Well, no, there is no technically this weekend. It is this weekend. They're waiting, obviously, for Worlds and hopefully for some DLC news, because they don't want to go along the road, booking it all in, getting a date, and to turn up, that's the same weekend as a DLC, or that's the week before or a week after. They want to try and keep away from set champs, and they want to keep away from DLC. They said preferably about 3 weeks before, because that's enough time that people can go and use it as proper practice, or even 2 weeks before. But you wouldn't want it the week before. It'd be too close. So yeah, that it's in the works. They know what they want to do. They're everything ready. They're just basically waiting for World's News to find out when the DLCs are, to then go, right, we're here. But they're saying likely either October or November. So if we don't get a DLC in October, it'd be sometime in October. So with the Axion, they normally like to do it, obviously, away from the DLC, but they also want to avoid set champs. Now, talking about set champs, we actually have had some dates released. So a lot of our local stores have already started releasing their set champs dates. And you can either find these from their website, which is obviously, if you know your local stores, they're quite easy to find. Or your other option is you can actually now go across to the Play Hub, Lorcana Play Hub, the Ravenburger Play Hub, and if you click on Core Constructed and then type in your area, you can actually bring up all the events that are coming up, and as we can see here, 4 of these are set champs. So we have obviously our home one, the Geek Retreat Chelmsford one's on here, Zombie Cafe in London, Nerd Base, and Marquee Models. So on here, obviously, it says £10 for a ticket. So when you click into that, you can't. I'm actually signed up. I'm ready. You already joined. You don't pay on this. It's when you click into it, it says by joining this, you agree to pay on the day, basically. But then obviously you're advised to go onto the store, whichever one you're looking at, to see if you can purchase a ticket online, or just give them a quick call and just check to see if you need to pay beforehand. Just by joining this doesn't mean you're necessarily 100% in. You should be, but there's no guarantee. And then, yeah, you can go from there. So if you just go to the top, type in your area.
I mean, I'm excited for search that actually works.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
So good. Actually find what's going on in the local area.
So, as you can see, oh, look, there's 2 people joined up for this one. Oh, look, it's me and me. So, yeah, you can go on them. There were a few tweaks missing here or there from the website, but it's new. It's a work in progress. I'm hoping we can soon be able to just click on here and take us to the store.
They'll need to link them together, won't they? Because I know for a fact that there's about 6 tickets sold for that event.
Yeah, that's
here
it.
It's only showing like 2 people registered, so potentially
the people
they
that
sell out on the
bought
website.
The tickets haven't done this bit basically, but
yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I think when you clicked on this originally, it did say, be careful, make sure you buy the ticket. So it's like here, the events will be here, the registration, entry to event will cost. And I think if you press join, there you go, join event and pay in person.
Right.
So obviously I won't join it, but so most of them will come up and remind you that you still have to pay. Right. So
stores I think it's a little bit complicated. That, right?
Yeah,
it's to make sure that they know who's registered on here and who's registered on their website, so they don't overbook. But
yeah, I think from memory, when you go onto like this one, for instance, this isn't coming up now. We're going to be testing this at our locals this Friday. I did a test run with our locals, and when you're in here and it's a live lobby, you will get a check-in code. So on the day, they will say code is blah, blah, blah. And when you're on here, you just go, you click on your name, type in the check-in code, and it checks you in. So therefore, you can't check in unless you're at the venue, which will stop a lot of issues. Obviously, you might find that what they have to do to begin with is say set champ's capacity is 32. You might need to raise this up to 40, for instance, so that way, if people check in who aren't supposed to be there, there's not an issue for people that are. But I don't think they're going to have that issue. I think you're more likely to find, as you've said, with Nerdbase, that people buy tickets but not done this side, more than done this side but not bought a ticket, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think possibly like something that says, go buy your ticket now instead of. But yeah, there's no information on this one. Yeah. But that is live, and you can search for stuff, which is always nice.
Yeah, it's awesome. So if you haven't registered your username as yet, get across onto the site. Make sure you register yourself, even if you're not playing in a tournament this weekend. If you want that spicy username, make sure that you go across and grab it.
Yeah, get in there and take your name before someone else does. I made sure I was in there straight away.
Or take someone else's name they're going to want and then sell it to them.
Yeah, that's it.
No, don't do that. But I'm so excited for set champs. I mean, I've sleeved my deck 3 times, made a playlist, and warned the family not to talk to me until after August.
Yeah, it's pretty much
great.
When did it start? Like first week, second week of July, all the way through to August?
Starts in August, doesn't it?
No, it starts in July.
No, is it mid-July?
Yeah, I think so.
Mid-July to mid-August. Right, okay.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah, I'm excited for it. It's going to be good. I've I've signed up for 2. They're back-to-back weeks, but I only do 1 on that weekend, so I won't do 2 in the same weekend. And they're basically our 2 local ones. I might go to one other, but I don't want to go crazy. But yeah, we'll see. So far, the ones I wanted to do aren't on the same day, which is nice. I would have liked to do the marquee models, but that's on the same day as Nerdbase, so I'd rather go Nerdbase than there, just because it's easier to get to. But yeah, we'll see. I'm looking forward to it. Set champ starts all over again. And we'll have to get them playmat and stick them up here. We need to start creating a wall of playmats.
And it's a really, really nice card and a really nice playmat to be going after.
It is. I think I've seen the card in person, and it is nice. I can confirm that it is a very, very nice card. I haven't seen the playmat, so I don't know about that one. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm hoping I can walk away with a minimum card. I'd like to get the playmat. I've really got to narrow in on my deck to be able to do that, but it's not impossible. Yeah, so this is obviously from their informational page. So we've got the foil version, the non-foil version, and then the playmat itself. So I think the champion actually works on this one. It doesn't look out of place.
Yeah,
I don't know whether it's because of the color scheme of it or what, but I actually quite like it.
Inkable or uninkable, it is up to you.
Okay, so the flavor text from last week. So the flavor text from last week was, "At last, this is where your luck runs out." So did you have any idea on what this one was? I had a couple people come to me at locals and get it. Do you have any idea?
No.
It was Bent to My Will. So it was a little bit of a hard one because it is an ink pen one, so it means that it is from the devs, not from a film or anything. But yeah, it was in a deck list that you built, so I gave you a half decent chance. But so going on from there, we'll do this week's while we're here, and this week's is in 2 deck lists as far as I'm aware that we covered this week, if not more. And I think it's quite an easy one. So this is another pen one, but the flavor text is, "The mixed ink had changed more than just the rose." So that was, "The mixed ink has changed more than just the rose." So I think you've got a decent hint there. So drop us in a comment below, let us know what you think it is, and we'll give you a shout out in the next episode.
So I know many of you have been waiting to see who ended up top of the deck, who got shuffled to the bottom in our Lorcana short story. So thank you for those who commented and gave a steer to that story. So to see how it came out, you're going to have to jump over to our socials, and we're actually going to post an animated version of the story that finally came out. So have a look in the description. We'll put the links there to our socials, and you can go and have a look at our fan-created Lorcana short story. And while you're there, while you're nipping down below to have a look at the description, make sure that you give this video a like. Thank you for staying with us this far, and click that subscribe button to make sure that you don't miss out on future content.
Okay, guys, so that is it for today's episode. So we obviously have Worlds coming up this weekend. So next episode, we will be covering all about that and finding out who our very first Lorcana World Champion is. Where Worlds event live on Twitch, where, things may go wrong, may go right. But if they do go wrong, it's going to be talked about in Discord. So, and talking about Discord, we'll have a quick run through on whether Discord can actually help you in your Lorcana gameplay. There's a lot of information on Discord and a lot of people chatting and helping each other out of deck. So we'll be going through on how you can potentially utilize that to help you. So, is there anything else we want to cover for this week? I ask you every week.
You do. No, I mean, look, I'm so excited for Worlds. I mean, really, this is the pinnacle of Lorcana competitive play. There's so much for us who are not at that level to learn, but also just to enjoy this celebration of Lorcana, and as you say, see our first world champion crowned. I mean, it's a moment of Lorcana history, so I'm really excited for that. Whatever you're doing, clear some time in your diary this weekend, hop over to the Twitch channel. There are a number of YouTubers. I'm going to be streaming it as well, so you'll have options as to where and how you watch it.
I think
But do
Spessy streaming it. So if you want to watch Spessy, watch the casters, watch the players, then
Yeah.
there's somewhere for that. So
I think he's joining up with Moyen to do that as well,
Yeah,
isn't he? So
yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty cool casting duo actually. So it might be a good one to watch. But also pop down in the comments, let us know who you think your pick is, who's going to win it, you
Yeah.
know, who's going to do well. But yeah, really looking forward to that, and then join us next week because I'm also really looking forward to then talking it through once it's all happened.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be, exciting, and I don't envy the players. It's probably a very, very stressful time leading up to this, and I'm sure there's going to be some misplays due to the pressure of the game. So we like going over misplays. So if you do see any, drop them in the comments. Put a little time note or something, give us a hint of roughly where it was, and we'll see if we can find them and discuss them on the podcast. So, but yeah, so I think that's it for this week. So it is time to roll up that playmat.
Pack away the dice.
And remember, stay unequal. See you next time.
See you next time.